welcome to the Bearded Respect, since our videos don't seem to be working tonight for some reason.
The heck? Why does it keep showing up?
I don't know.
Are we both pressing it? Is that why it keeps showing up?
Maybe. Don't press it.
We're both trying to take it off.
Welcome to the Bearded Respect number 117. I try and run this video again, but I don't know if it's going to work.
That's okay. I think we're good without it for tonight only.
All right. Jason, you want to say hi to these fine people?
Yeah. We got Steve and Bearded Chief in first tonight.
Chief, what's up?
Bruh.
And Mrs. Bruce City was second. Hey, Becky.
Hello, Becky.
Robert Allen. Robert.
Hello there.
Robert.
Hey, Robert.
TV. Hey, TV.
Got him!
There's E-Rock.
What's up?
You
He actually was first on the
Was
chat.
he?
Yeah.
No way.
Just didn't show up for us.
Got Ray. Hey, Ray.
What's up, Ray? Thanks for stopping
brother.
in.
How you doing?
Hey, Bob and Terry. Thanks for coming back.
Bob and Terry.
Hey, Rich.
Hello.
What's up, Rich?
I'm going to be a little closer tonight, guys, probably because I forgot my glasses at work today. So, hey, Dynamite.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
A little early. One's a little
Hey, Ken. Hey, congratulations on everything going through finally for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Thanks for joining us, Ken. I know you're going to be having Fetti on for Sunday, so.
Hey, Cajun.
Hello.
How you doing?
What's up, Roy?
Hey, Corey.
Corey.
Hey, Corey.
Emotional damage.
That's that good butter.
You what?
It is kind of shiny.
And I'm caught up.
Wow, that was quick, Jason.
Yeah, that's
Maybe the
everybody
quickest
so
ever.
far. Yeah.
Oh, no worries, Roy. We know life gets busy sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There's Mel. Hey, Mel.
What's up, Mel?
How you doing?
Yeah, so big news for Ken and Mel. Ken's
Yeah.
legally a dad, but as we all know, he's been dad anyways.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
congratulations for legally getting it on paper.
Yes,
Sure,
congratulations.
probably makes legal stuff easier that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken and Mel are great parents, and glad to have them in the chat tonight.
Things have changed so much. So I remember, well, I saw a book, they both posted about it, but I of course, I don't remember because I was just a little wee bean, but my two older brothers are actually stepbrothers. And but my dad adopted them, but I mean, I never heard stories. I didn't think it took as long as what it did for you guys, but yeah, times changed though, because I don't think they had people over at the house and things like that.
Right.
Make sure everything was kosher. But yeah, things change.
Well, back then,
Hey.
Jason, I mean, there was no such thing as
Yeah.
child abuse either.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Vic.
What's up, Vic?
I could do a whole live stream making comments on that.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
I
sure.
grew up in the court systems.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Hello.
But yeah, I got three stepdaughters myself. So, but I call them my daughters. I don't,
Yeah. Family's family. It doesn't matter how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
Hey, Big Stu.
just how you feel about each other that matters.
Oh, I missed something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I must have missed something. He has himself a lady friend.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Well, congrats, E.
Because we know how much he complains about his ex-wife. I was surprised he went down that road again.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
That's cool. Very cool. Well, congrats, man.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else new?
Not that I can think of.
Nope, me neither.
We got a pretty awesome guest on tonight.
Yes.
New to me.
Yep, new to me.
Well, new to me too.
Oh, cool.
So with that, why don't we bring our guest on? Hello.
Gentlemen, happy Thursday.
Welcome to the Bearded Respect.
Thank you. And it's a blessing being around such great beards here, man. Put myself in shame.
No.
Oh, your beard's
No,
great,
you got a
man. You
nice
got
one.
like thickness.
Yeah.
Man. There's like no gaps here at all. Straight lines. You're on point, man.
Yeah, thank you. Just curling it underneath slowly one day at a time.
Yeah.
So how you guys doing?
Doing great. Scott,
Doing
let's
good.
go right into the 5 questions.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
Let's break the ice and get this ball rolling.
Well, it worked, but it did disappear
All right.
because I didn't click.
Mm.
There.
Real quick, Mike. I don't want to,
Yeah.
interrupt you or whatnot, but isn't there something else going on this evening that we might want to get up there?
Well, yes.
Oh yeah. Good point, Jason.
With
That way everybody gets a chance.
we'll
There
put
you
this
go.
up. with code respect, you can save 20% off and receive a free 1 ounce oil of choice until Friday at 5 p.m.
Wow.
Eastern.
That is awesome. Holy cow.
That's a hell of a deal.
That way, if you don't like the first scent you buy, good chance you'll like the other one. Oh.
20% off plus a free oil. That's amazing.
Thank you. We appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And for everyone to chat, don't blame Scott for all these technical difficulties. Blame Miss Bruce City, who I think last night, didn't she kind of
that
some
has
things
nothing
that-
to do with this. Yeah, she bought me a beer that had 16% alcohol in it.
I think you're still feeling the effects.
Last week our software changed here, and it doesn't. We don't have all the bugs worked out yet, obviously.
All right, Fetti. Did you go by
Sir.
Fetti?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, first question, same question we ask everyone. Their first question is, tell us about your favorite toy as a child. Like, what was that one toy that you just loved to play with?
It was a remote control Porsche.
Ooh.
I was a big fan of Knight Rider, so it just got me into cars. So I remember it being all black with gold spokes.
Nice.
Yeah, so I rode that thing everywhere, man. Drove it everywhere through the driveway, all out in the street. So that was definitely number one go-to toy.
Nice. And that's a unique answer, I believe. Remote control
Yeah,
cars.
that's the first time for that.
Yeah. RC cars. Yeah,
I'm trying
I'd
to
love
get the
RC.
real one.
What's
Say
that?
Again? I'm trying to get the real one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the real Porsche.
I think it's
right?
much easier if I get the toy, the remote control toy. That's easy already.
Yeah. Yeah. We almost have a kit nowadays. Like the cars talk to you and they can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Almost
AI,
don't have
you
the-
have anything for it.
don't have the turbo boost yet, but yeah, RC cars. I used to love playing with those too. In the town that I kind of grew up in, where we had like a RC car racing, like on weekends, indoor track.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to do some RC car racing.
Yeah.
I remember too the remote control water boats that used to go to the park and put them in the lake, and then people who was racing with the motors. Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, I thought those were cool. I never got to play with the RC boat, but yeah. Weren't they like gas powered? A lot of them?
Yeah, something like that. But you can hear it blocks away because I live not too far from the park in Queens, and you would almost think they were like motorcycles.
Right. Yeah.
You know, big like fisherman boats that you would see like in Miami, but the remote control ones.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yeah. So, for those that don't know, Fetti says started in 2020. The company started in 2020 in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
But what I would like to know first is, what was your passion before making beard grooming products? Like, what was something that you were really into before getting into this?
Interesting, because I don't know if a lot of people know that about me, but I've always been a writer of poetry, and I used to write rap since I was 13. So being like a rapper and like a style of sort of like a modern day Bruce Wayne, bringing class, CEO, and I had to pick and choose between the passions because it's a lot of mental hard work coming up with all of these concepts, and then I just transfer that energy to creations of beard oils and beard products. I think with most products, people like a story behind it. So putting that attention to detail, having that story, that foundation only makes, I think, in most ways, the creation more special. So that's how that came about. And then as far as leisure, smoking cigars. I have a passion for that. That's something I do every weekend that helps me to relax, think. Just a therapeutic thing for me. So those two for sure.
What's
Okay.
your favorite cigar?
That's kind of hard because my palate changes a lot. That's why I have so many different beard oil flavors and different beard carrier oils, because it's hard for me to do the same thing over and over necessarily. I don't know if that's a condition, but I would say one of them right now is Blue Cheese. It's crafted by AJ Fernandez and a wholesaler named Pravada Club. So they have these special small batch blends that they create for that specific company. So you can't always get it somewhere. It's a special blend, just like hypothetically, if I were to make a special collaboration, Bearded Respect, beard oil, and you can only get that from us and from you. That's kind of what it's like with the cigar. So it's special, and there's a lot of exclusivity in that. So those have been my thing lately.
Cool. Very cool.
So you grew up in New York, all
Right.
around New York.
Yes.
One question I like to ask people that grew up near the city is, where does upstate New York begin?
That's a good question because I don't really know. And it's a completely different animal. And, you know, you hear the jokes where people try to tie in upstate New York with New York.
Right.
And no, it's not the same. I think it's, for the most part, more quiet and even more suburban than probably somewhere like Long Island. You know, it's colder. So it's not actually the place to be. But I remember going to places like jobs and like training and stuff like that, like in Schenectady, New York.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't
Yeah.
start there, but those are typical places and people that have been moving out of the inner five boroughs of New York have been moving to places like that, upstate New York. I think you don't want to be too far from New York. So, yeah.
Yeah. My personal experience. So I grew up in Buffalo, New York. So that's Western
Okay.
New York. But
Yes.
and I always heard of upstate New York. And when growing up, I always thought upstate New York meant like Syracuse, the upper state, like northern New York. But
Right.
as an adult, getting to know more people from the city, I've heard everything from whatever's north of the Bronx or whatever's north of Yonkers is upstate.
Yeah. You're just going to get lost if you don't know where you're going.
Right. So every New Yorker I meet, they have a different answer for that, and that's cool. That's all right. There's New York City, and then there's the rest of New York, which is upstate.
Most people in New York have never been to the Empire State Building, so it just shows where the priorities lack.
Right. What is your greatest? So there's two parts to this question. You just have to answer one of them. So what is the greatest achievement or accomplishment you've had, or your favorite moment in life?
Wow. Yeah, because, if you talk about the business, that's one thing. And then if you talk about your life, I think there's so many more moments that matter more. So if I can, I would like to answer that in two parts.
Okay. Yeah.
If we talk about the business, I think one of them was creating as of last August, so almost a year ago. I created 3 cents, and all of them, not to toot my own horn, but it's facts. All of them were back-to-back bangers. It started where I had a collab scent with Steven that metal guy called Batanga Sunrise. Banger. Tequila cola, tobacco, cardamom, clove. This is a banger. Then I came out with Mango Tango, which is amber, mango, bergamot, sandalwood, coconut. Then I came out with all in the month of August, and I didn't plan it that way. It just happened to work out that way because that collaboration scent had got completed before I expected it to be, where both parties obviously agreed. And then I came out with Melon Breeze, which is a salted melon with notes of vetiver, musk, and beechwood. Fire, like really, like, you know, it's one thing to create three good scents or scents that I'm proud of, but it's another where it's like, wow, I don't know which one is better. Everybody's loving this one. Everybody's loving that one. Everybody's loving the one that come after it. And to be consistent like that just made me very proud. I didn't realize until after the month was over, like, wow, I did like 3 in 1 month. How did I pull that off? So for my business, that's amazing, along with so many other things. And in life, the happiest moment next to marrying my wife would probably be when I bought my first home a few months ago.
Okay.
You know, I made a promise to my mother before she passed away, that I would do that. And in New York, it's very tough with a lot of distractions, and things are so expensive. You may never get around to doing that. So completing that, getting that done, I feel like everything else is just, you know, not so bad.
Yeah.
So definitely right now, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah, that's definitely huge accomplishments on both ends, business and in life. I mean, buying that first house, you know, providing for your family, huge feeling, like great feeling. Not paying that rent anymore, you know?
Yeah. It's just more expensive than the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So another question I have, what can you tell me about Corpsey?
Corpsey?
Yeah. Have you ever heard Corpsey?
No.
Urban legend. Okay. That's okay. That's all right.
No.
I never heard of it either, but I just watched a documentary on it.
Corpsey?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make it up. I won't lie to you.
Good. That's all right. Corpsey's this urban legend on Staten Island. That was like this thing that would abduct children, but I was just curious if you ever heard of it.
What
never
year?
did.
What year was that?
I think it was in the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
But like it's still kind of talked about today. Like parents will warn their kids, you know, if they go to Staten Island, you know, don't go in the dark, don't go to the, you know, park in the dark because Corpsey will get you, something like that.
Wow. So here's a fact too, right? That's funny about that. Even if I was well read, so to speak, with New York urban history, but New Yorkers didn't catch on to Staten Island to around 1994 anyway.
Yeah, true.
So we got a lot of catching up to do. If it wasn't for Wu-Tang, I don't think anybody would know much about Staten Island.
True.
No offense. But,
yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, Staten Island was like, it was just, I mean, there was a mental institute there and the rest was like forest. So
yeah, it's like its own world. Like it's just now people starting to catch on to it. And move and stuff like that.
All right. And the last question I got is, what does Fetti say? Everyone wants to know.
Fetti says beard health equals beard wealth. You know, that's the philosophy, you know, to me, no matter how long we grow our beards, you know, to each his own. Not everybody wants to grow their beard that long. But what I do, and I don't guarantee that, but what I try to promote is overall health of your beard, taking care of it the best way possible, and trying to get the best out of your beard by being consistent, switching up different carrier blends, and being patient. So that's really what Fetti says in a nutshell.
Awesome.
That's cool.
All right, you
And-
survived
and-
5 questions.
And you kind of practice that. I notice most of your oils have different carriers among the different scents.
Right. So how it started briefly, and I don't know if the questions was going that way, but how the name came about was initially I wanted to create a beard oil that I felt worked for me during the pandemic. I got into a rabbit hole on Instagram watching different product reviewers talking about different oils, and then me deciding, because it was the first time I was really going to take care of my beard. Before then, I just shaped it up, but I never really tried to make sure it was healthy and clean it and what have you. And I got into a rabbit hole seeing all these different blends, all these different companies, trying to figure out what works for me. It's like a never ending thing. So when I decided on a product that I feel would work for most people, and people came back to me and told me, wow, this stuff really works, I really like it, I decided to push the envelope to give myself some depth by coming up with different carrier blends for each scent. And the more people question why do I do it and no one else did it, I looked at that as an opportunity and an edge, so to speak, to create more. And then I would be able to look at someone's beard, so to speak, and for the most part, like the basics, try to figure out what is it that they're not doing. So every step of the process for me, where I realized like, okay, I got the oil, I need a butter, but now I got product buildup. So I need a good wash, I need a good conditioner. And I was guiding people on how much to use, because in New York, it was very interesting. I think if I would have started in any other state, it would have been a little bit different as far as the education process. In New York, there's a lot of over-the-counter beard care companies where some of them have a lot of fillers within their carrier oils, and it's very discouraging for the consumer if it doesn't go their way. So then they start to look at beard care as a gimmick, so to speak. So I had to educate them on how to properly use it. So that's why it's called Fetti Says, because the average consumer that's not familiar with beard care products may not know the purpose of each product and how to get, if not the goal, close to the goal that they want. So I would tell them and spell out steps for them, sort of like consulting on how to do everything. So that's why it's called Fetti Says, because I kind of tell you how to effectively use the products so you can get the best experience as possible. I would get a lot of people that think beard oil is just the way to go. And then I would have to say, well, listen, if you really want to have it a manageable beard, this is what I suggest that you do. So that's really where the name comes about. Hey,
Definitely makes
Donnie.
sense. Definitely makes sense. Yeah.
How you doing, Donnie?
So when I first started the company, the majority of the people I was getting, like it's real easy to say, all right, I want my target audience to be the bearded community, right? Everybody's got a beard. Everybody's got beard oil. That's easy. No, the people that was actually inquiring the most when I first started during the pandemic were people that just stopped me on the street, like, hey man, how do I get my beard like that?
Yeah.
I'll pay whatever I gotta pay, just tell me what I gotta do, because what I'm doing is not working. Look, and they start thinking in their beard and stuff like that. So then that was my main customer. The one that says, listen, I don't know how to do this. Is there a simple way to do this? How does this work? So that's where the philosophy and the name got built around.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Fetti says do this.
Yep, pretty much.
You definitely got the beard to back it up, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bearded Chief, you should jump on that deal tonight.
Yeah. Save 20%.
And you get yourself a free oil in the process.
Right. And that's why I left it till tomorrow evening. So it gives people the chance. So when that direct deposit hits first thing in the morning, right before you eat the eggs and bacon, oh, Fetti says, that's right.
Big Stu's asking if the 2-ounce bottles are taller or wider than the 1 ounce.
Good question. They're actually taller. So the width is about the same. So I want the label.
So the diameter's the same. They're just taller.
Huh. Okay.
Cool.
If I remember correctly, the price difference between a 1 ounce and 2 ounce is very small.
Right. And what the goal was with that was, again, initially based on the setup of the creation of the oil, because of using the different carrier oils consistently, it got real expensive. The different labels got real expensive, as well as now I'm looking into the bottles being different from the typical bottles, which again, I wanted to justify the price. So how it started in my mind, I'm just completely honest, because again, my main consumer wasn't people in the bearded community. So I know typically the bearded community, it started out with 1 ounce oils, which is great. So everybody's used to seeing that. But I kind of wanted you to use my company and no one else alone. So I figured 2 ounce, typically that'll last with no other beard oils about 3 months. So within having let's say an oil, butter, wash, and conditioner, that would last you about 3 months time. So that would somewhat, in some cases, justify the price. The 1 ounce was actually created for you guys. That really is like, okay, the price doesn't bug me, but 2 ounces is going to last me about 2 years with all the oils I have.
Right.
So now I'm catering almost to a collector, so to speak. And to do that outside of the realm of what I currently do would be a charge. Just like if you notice, if you go in McDonald's, the sandwich is not that much of a price differential from the actual meal, because they kind of want you to get the meal. But if you say I just get the sandwich, then it's like what, $7, $8 now? You might as well get the meal. Right. So economically, I want you to go for the 2 ounce, but I do understand you're a collector and I respect that. So I'm giving you guys the 1 ounce, but the quality, the ingredients, the bottle, the label, it's still at a premium. So that's why it wouldn't be like, okay, XYZ, okay, I'm gonna charge half of that because it's half amount of ounces. It doesn't really work that way, because I want to be around next year, so you guys can have me back on the show. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't want to work my job anymore too. I kind of just want to make beard products. My passion is there. If I can do that all day long and talk about it, I mean, that's why I got in business. So that's where the goal is. But definitely I want to keep providing that value also, because for me, it's all about the overall experience, not the sale. Money comes and goes anyway.
Yeah. So here, guys, what we're talking about is you can get a 1 ounce oil for $30 or a 2 ounce oil for $32.50. So that's, in my book, that's almost a no-brainer.
Right. And then again, let's take into account 20% off.
Yeah.
That's not always there, right? Typically, a coupon code gets you about 10 to 15% off, but I'm giving 20. You also get in 1 ounce a free oil of choice. So when you break down the math again, that's not a bad price. 3, I also have things like Afterpay and Klarna on there. So you can really break up those payments where I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible. You know, I wish I could go into Saks Fifth Avenue and ask for like some flex pay payments, but I don't think it would work out too well, you know?
Yeah, back in the day there was layaway, but you didn't get your stuff. You had to pay first.
Yeah.
I like hearing that, Chris Perez. That's the one that I ordered, was the chocolate coffee oud.
Yes.
I just know I didn't notice this before, but when Scott had this on the screen, I saw a 4-ounce oil.
Yes. So what happened with that, there's always a story and a reason. It's never really anything random, but 4-ounce females was using the oil depending the scent profile. And you know, a lot of them have a lot of hair, so that 2 1-ounce, they running out in a few weeks. So the 4-ounce, you know, because again, it's good for the beard, but at the end of the day, overall, these oils are good for the skin and your hair. So even my wife started using it, applying it to her scalp, and saw a difference, you know, with texture as well as maybe patches. So females, based on certain amount of oils, just like I tell customers, you know, all of them sound good. Which one do I get? Well, you can try anyone. In my opinion, I feel like you can't lose, but it's about but getting a scent that you can live with smelling on a regular basis. So again, this particular one we're looking at now, that's Black Rose. From what I hear from customers over the last few years, rest in peace, Russ Young. That was one of his favorite beard oils based on that feeling beard. This has champagne, cinnamon, and eggnog. So that's unisex, straight down the middle. So women would use this oil as well. So very beneficial for the skin and hair. So again, that one in my original blend, I offer in a 4-ounce.
Cool.
Nice.
4-ounce, that'd probably last me a long time.
Yeah, that's when you're on a tight budget. Like, okay, sister it, that's it.
Okay, there was a question earlier. Someone was asking if you have a woodsy or earthy scent.
Good question. When you talk about woodsy and earthy, not so much when you put woodsy and earthy together. A lot of the dry downs have that. So if we talk about Fetti and Myth, which is like a blue fragrance, so to speak, where it's almost fougere, where there's lavender, there's grapefruit. There's 2 different kinds of woods in there with amber. So when that dries down, it's woody and earthy. If you want to talk about chocolate coffee oud up front, that, and not to give it away, Mike, but that is chocolate and coffee. And once that wears down because of that oud, at the base, it becomes earthy and woodsy. Believe it or not, I would say my most masculine scent is my leather jacket. Because there's pomegranate in the top note, but that's a very subtle fruit note, so you really don't get much of that. You're getting teak wood, you're getting cardamom in my leather jacket, as well as peony. The leather jacket is like a fresh leather jacket. So to me, that's earthy and that's woody based on the components. So if you're looking for masculine, you're not really into too much sweetness, I would definitely suggest my leather jacket.
E-Rock, he wants to know if Peach Musk will be restocked before the sale ends.
Good question. To be honest with you, and I just found out about this because my tech guy really handles all of the inventory, but I do have 2 Peach Musk available. So I would say, order another, like, say, kiwi musk and say, I want peach musk instead in the comment section, along with the 3-ounce oil of choice that you pick. And I'll just know to make that peach musk instead of kiwi. So yeah, there's 2 more of that. And definitely next week, I will have that fully in stock for kiwi as well as peach. But those are like my main favorites. Those sell out the fastest, so it's hard to keep peach musk in stock for long.
So that would be your top seller, probably.
That, and surprisingly, year to date, plum fig.
Interesting.
Yes, that surprised me too. I had to check the numbers for that. And year over year, it's plum fig. And people like that a lot as a second choice for the free 1 ounce. Anything that you're like on the fence about, maybe I would suggest it's good to get as a free 1 ounce. And the one that you might love, purchase that. But yeah, plum fig is the sleeper. I thought it was underrated. Apparently, it's not. And there's a lot of good components in there. There's plum, obviously. There's grape, which supports the plum because plum is a very faint, fruity smell. And then it's also smoky at the base with myrrh and frankincense. So that was one of my most proudest, I would say, winter scents. So plum fig definitely is a sleeper, and that carrier oil blend. If you can pull up plum fig real quick and just read out that carrier oil blend for me, I'd really appreciate it. So you guys can kind of see what I'm saying. Go down to your left, right there.
Indian castor oil, hemp seed, pumpkin seed oil, black seed oil, and meadow foam seed oil.
Right. So I'm sure people mostly assume this, but just to confirm, I do actually test out these carrier blends as well as fragrances, but more importantly, the carrier oil blends to see what works great for your beard. Plum fig is one of my favorite carrier oil blends because of that black seed oil along with that pumpkin seed oil. You typically don't see those together, and it's just a very enriching experience. And black seed oil is fantastic. I think most of us know hemp seed oil is fantastic. Yeah. And I typically use metafoam seed oil because with that Indian castor and most thick oils, that metafoam will help to balance out that texture. But that carrier oil blend is insane.
So is the Indian castor, is that different than a lot of other castor oils?
Good question. It is. It's hard to describe what the difference is, let's say, between that. The 3 that I like to use and one I fell recently in love with is Haitian castor oil, Jamaican castor oil, and Indian castor oil. I would say Indian castor oil is the most easiest to work with, where it's going to provide that thickness from it being too thin. Most of my oils viscosities are medium to high medium viscosity. So again, at some point, I guess I felt the oil was too thin. That's why I added the Indian castor. But yeah, that's the difference. Jamaican black castor is kind of very thick and sticky as opposed to Indian castor oil. I would say Indian castor oil is almost like an almond oil, but a little bit thicker than that to give you like a picture. And then again, Haitian castor oil, I think personally is like right in the middle between the Indian and the Jamaican, where you're getting that thickness, but you also getting that smoothness, and you're not getting so much of an odor. When you have the oils by itself without scents, but none of my oils have an after scent from the oil.
Yeah, I know E was talking about Jamaican black castor oil is amazing in his beard, and that's pretty common. I just never really heard of the Indian castor before.
Right. That's more of a. So if we're looking at color tones, Jamaican castor oil is the darkest. That's black usually, and that usually has like an odor. I would say like a mild, like leathery odor. And then the Indian castor oil usually is like a golden color. So that's why I say it's like almond oil, just a little bit more thicker. And then Haitian castor oil almost looks like rose hip, where it's like a dark, deep reddish color. But again, the texture is like middle of the road as opposed to Jamaican castor or Indian.
Yeah. I was gonna try and show it here, but Jason, we all got sent out oils, but Jason's arrived, and the rest of ours look like they're gonna arrive tomorrow. So I will be doing a live unboxing tomorrow on what I received from Fetti.
Hey, we should do that together.
Sure, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jason received the Oscar Night beard oil. Jason, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah.
Can we get Jason?
Yeah, we got the Oscar. Yeah. So we got the Oscar Night, which
There we go.
its carrier blend is shea nut. Oh, the shea nut,
Let the glasses
ostrich, prickly pear, and meadow foam. And the scent profile is a floral rich tobacco with sweet goodness. And I will tell you, it is sweet goodness. Yeah, and I first opened it up when it came at lunchtime, and I get to come home at lunch because I 5 minutes to work.
Nice.
But yeah, it just I mean, I was talking in the green room backstage before the show, whatever, with Fetti, and it almost smells like something being baked, but I couldn't place it. And then he said like pralines, and I said, yeah, that's what it is. But it is, I mean, like he said about his leather jacket, it's not blown full out leather. There's other things in there, so it's muted. So tobacco is not like bam in your face, but it really smells great, and the fact that it does have the ostrich oil in it too, so you can tell it's a little creamier and thicker.
Can we see some drops? You
but
pulled some up. Nice. Okay.
Let me move over away from it. Get the black background, maybe. There we go.
Live
but
pull.
Yeah, it just really, I never smelled nothing like it before. I can say that.
And that's what I like to hear.
And
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm that's why I'm not a reviewer, because I can't always pick the notes out, and sometimes, there's all kinds of companies out there that might tell you a couple things that's in it, but they might have 4 or 5 other things in it and they don't tell you. And it blends so well together. It just makes a great scent, and you can't really pick anything out in particular, but I do know it's sweet, but I love it. It's just, I can't explain it, but it almost sounds like something baking, but not cookies or something. It just, maybe roasted pralines or something. But yeah, it smells great. It's great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The story behind that, because again, I love stories. And most of the creations, but not all of them, have stories to it. So my idea with that was, to smell distinguished, if you had gotten invited to the Oscars, we all see it on TV, and it looks like a good time, right? There's champagne on the table and everybody's dressed up. So I picture it like, okay, we all know pretty much everybody's going to be smelling good that night, wearing something expensive. What are you going to be wearing to stand out? So if I was particularly invited to Oscar night, this is pretty much something that I would wear with my tuxedo. So it's an average everyday scent, but again, something luxurious, something distinguished, something that would stand out, and not your typical tobacco scent. There's a lot of like oak, vanilla, tobacco, red pipe cherry tobacco. I try to be different, not really follow. So I figured out a formula which would be honey and tobacco versus the typical vanilla. And that's how that came about. So I'm glad it works out that way.
Yeah. But it definitely intrigued me to purchase some others, because there's, I mean, you have quite a few scent profiles too, and I know one that Scott picked was that peach musk that E-Rock was asking about, and that one and the mango tango, and I mean some of them like that pistachio one. I'm like, yeah, but Ken and some others, they've been saying great things about that one too. So, but yeah, it's really
It makes it difficult to choose just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think too, what's great about it is the whole mystery of it, the surprise element of it. With one company, all these different carrier oil blends, all of these different exotic scents. In a way, I think consumers want to see if I can keep going. Like, how would this be different? Maybe I'll hit a wall, so to speak, with the creation or the carrier blend or the filling beard. So, again, these are things that I want to do to somewhat justify the price, to somewhat show value in what I'm creating and what you're spending your hard-earned money for. So that was the idea behind it, where it's like, okay, you got a new scent. Cool, it sounds great. But why do I have to spend my money this week on this product? And, again, it would be something that I would be bringing to the table to pique that interest or somewhat some curiosity. So that is the idea behind all of these scents, all of these carrier oil blends. And I find that the name of the scents, typically what works for me is like 2 syllables. Salted caramel musk is one of them, but peach musk, presidential suite, those 2 names that have a longer name, and in those 2 names sort of highlight the 2 main notes that are in there that shine through, to get people intrigued. And again, most of my scents are transitional, where they're not linear, they don't stay the same. There's a dry down, there's a mid where other notes come out, and obviously most of the time it's going to be a bright opening. So you have that, which again takes you on a journey and somewhat helps to enhance the experience of using Fetti scents.
Yeah, and here I wanted to know, if you guys don't know which one to pick up, he has a sample pack here of 5 of his best-selling oils. The Gold Snow, Original, Peach Musk, Appleberry, and not even sure what the last one is.
Brooklyn Tea Party.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are all interesting scents. Yes, those are in the main line and very popular. And again, it's a good way to start as far as helping to pick, which oil you would like the most. And again, with all these different carrier oil blends, it's really giving you some options of where to go, especially if you're used to just trying, a stationary set of carrier oils. So now this can somewhat help introduce you, if you're not already used to, different carrier oil blends and the textures and stuff like that. Also, it was a request from our customers. Also, ones that's followers haven't purchased yet that have been requesting this for a very long time. And I thank them for their patience. But yeah, this is something I'm proud of, and I'm glad I was able to finally complete it.
Yeah, speaking of different carrier oils, one that kind of stood out to me was the horsehair oil.
Right. Horsetail.
Or horsetail, yeah, horsetail, yeah.
Yeah.
So how that came about, if you guys are interested.
Yeah.
I was watching something where I'm getting older, right? You guys are spring chickens, but I'm getting older. And my hair is thinning a little bit. So I'm always interested in looking for different hacks, so to speak, to help slow down that hair loss process or improve certain areas, right? And I saw this concoction where they said get horsetail oil, like the herbs, horsetail powder, I guess, and green tea extract, and boil it and put it into a water bottle, just like you wet your beard before you apply oil or butter, and it should help grow the hair. And it's actually a plant, horsetail, and it's supposed to do that. And I was like, well, what if that could be put in a beard oil? What would that do? So that's what's interesting about this creation, where I definitely wanted a tea scent. I didn't have one. I think that's interesting. And I wanted to add some character to it. So, there's horsetail oil and there's green tea extract. So when you receive it, it's actually like a dark, cloudy oil that's in the middle of it when you shake it. And the average person is going to be like, well, what is this? Like this, what is, is this like a hair in here? What is it? It's actually green tea extract. It comes thick, almost like a concentrate, so to speak. But that helps to promote hair growth as well as give some shine and nourishment to the hair. So the scent profile in that is buttered rum at the base. You have black tea in there, and you also have some lemon, but that buttered rum is almost like a butterscotch. That gives a nice vibe without it being too sweet. And again, as far as the tea scent, according to Brian from Beards and Banjos, I pretty much nailed it as far as like the balance of what you would expect, wearable, not so occasional, and just an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, and a lot of these scents sound like they're very well put together. I know it's very easy to have like one scent that overpowers another, but to balance them out like that takes some time and patience.
Right. And I'm a fragrance collector as far as like colognes. So I don't come up with beard oils that necessarily overpower or command the room, so to speak. They're more so for your personal enjoyment or your significant other when you guys are cuddling or holding each other. So that's what that's for, not to really overshadow too much. So you don't have to worry about me creating something, for the most part, that's very loud or one sense demanding over the other. Even with peach musk and those type of concoctions, I try to make sure that there's a balance. Again, a transition where, for the most part, it's a pleasant opening And then at the dry down, that's when it starts to get more masculine, more woody, more oody, more earthy, more subdued, where it's more of a skin scent. But again, that transition is always there.
So, about how long do your scents generally last?
Good question. I would say for the most part, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. There's some that last longer than that, but that's typically um, the duration. As far as the experience, you get a lot more sillage, meaning like if you're not aware, the wind blowing and you're catching whiffs here and there throughout the day.
Yep.
That's mainly the experience. Again, versus having a beard oil that smells like brute deodorant, where people smell you before you enter the room.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give off that
Yep.
vibe, so that's why I create them like that. And again, if you go out during the night, you wear an Oscar night, and you want to wear your favorite cologne on a date night, you can still do that. And again, it's not overwhelming.
Yeah, and I enjoy it when an oil has. You might walk outside at night or something, and then all of a sudden you get this other smell that you weren't expecting, and it may even bring back a memory from when you were young or some other time, and that's always a pleasant experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I put this in about 3 hours ago, and now I'm getting more of that tobacco.
Yeah, there's actually two kinds of tobacco in there. It's a medium pipe tobacco, as well as there is a dry mid-sweet tobacco, so more earthy, like the wrapper of a cigar type of. So that's going to start coming out more.
Yep.
And it looks like with your oil blends, the your beard butter tends to match that same carrier pretty much.
For the most part, yes. And I was going to actually get to the beard butters because what I discovered recently, and I would say within the last 6 months, is something. I won't use hybrid butter because that's been used before, but let's say like a tag team combination butter, where if you look at some of my newer butters, I don't really use shea anymore. Again, it's all about, for me, pushing the envelope, see if we can get the best out of our beards. So I started studying different butters. Like if you check the latest ones, like if you sort by latest, you'll see not so much shea in there, but maybe mango butter with something called avocado butter, which really smooths out the butter. That, yeah, you could use Batanga Sunrise, which is the collab I did with Steven. There I used mango butter. I also use avocado butter, definitely along with the carrier blend. The carrier blend doesn't really change as far as the oils, but the butters, again, I want to come up with something that's out of the box. If we look at pistachio almond, I kind of tried to stay true to its nutty character, meaning macadamia nut butter is in there, along with macadamia nut oil. And again, that's adding a texture more so, I would say almost like hummus. If you guys ever put hummus through your finger, that's the butter, right? But it's not like spilly or leaking or anything like that. But it emulsifies the moment you put your finger through it versus, you rubbing it in your hand. And again, the shine is impeccable, as well as the texture on your beard is just something different that you get out of it. From my experience, as well as I hear from certain customers, it's an all day butter, meaning you can apply it multiple times throughout the day, and none of the butters you're gonna feel grit. Um, minimal, if any, wax is in there at all. I try to pretty much stay natural. Again, you can just reapply that butter, say in the morning or the midday. Some people will apply butter to follow up with the oil, and then definitely at nighttime. And again, it won't feel like there's too much product or it being too greasy. As well as with my oils, you don't really get a greasy effect after you rub in and apply it.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you. Now, pistachio almond, if people didn't catch the review, this one actually surprised me. I knew it was going to be a good scent, and I kind of knew in my mind, like, okay, this is probably going to be a gourmand type of scent. It may not speak to everyone, but from the people that have used it, they tell me for the most part, it's an everyday scent. I wouldn't imagine pistachio almond to be an everyday scent out of all of my scents. But this is a great scent, and I do find myself using it a lot of times during the week, where there's pistachio in there, obviously pistachio pudding, almond macaroons, which is like a nice cookie. At the base, you have a little bit of patchouli and white musk, but you also have something in there which is cherry almond and cherry blossoms, which is a floral note. And I add floral notes to my oils a lot of times with the scent profiles, because typically floral notes uplift the scent. So that's what gets it to last longer and to give it more of a projection when applying it, and also sillage in the beard. So that's why, again, you can never really judge a book by its cover with these titles and names, because there's so much more that's added to it to enhance the experience, really help develop the composition. So again, it can work best for your beard as possible.
Yeah.
But pistachio almond really shocked me. Like, people really love it. And again, it's one of those out of the box scent that I think most people will enjoy.
Yeah, I know I've recently tried one other company's oil that had pistachio in it, and it surprised me how much I liked it.
Good. Yeah, definitely. Again, the carrier blend, a lot of good feedback on this. Again, that black seed oil is in there, along with that pumpkin seed oil, special stuff. This has like a pineapple soda accord, along with amber notes, and there's teak wood in here as well. So it's not a typical fruity pineapple, but it's a bright pineapple soda, maybe slight sparkling feeling. But it works great for the beard, and there's a good shine in there too. I assume maybe from the metafoam seed oil.
Yeah.
That's doing that, but I use that regularly in rotation also.
And for you guys who are talking about the Jamaican castor oil, there is some of that in here for you.
Yes.
And all these scents sound just amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to pick.
That's what I was doing, reading up on more. I picked Oscar Night because I was, haven't got a tobacco scent in a while, but there were so many others. I was like, man, that one sounds good. That one sounds good. I was
People all the time
like,
DM me about, hey man, which scent should I get? Which one do you think is better? Like, be honest. Like, tell me. What do you think? And I'm like, honestly, it depends on the individual and what scent they
Yep.
typically like. Again, in my opinion, overall quality, you can't lose with any of them as far as what they do for your beard. Now, everybody has a different type of beard. I'm glad, Jason, that you chose Oscar Night. Correct me if wrong, but most black and gray beards, they like thicker oils because the texture of your beard changes. Even mine, like I mentioned before, it's getting curlier now. So it's not the same texture. So the more I grow it and comb it, it goes through different stages and I have to adjust accordingly. So the fact that there's ostrich oil and shea nut oil, it's very hard to believe for me you're gonna have a bad experience with feeling beard because it's softening up, it's thick, and it's that giving you that balanced viscosity that you need versus choosing a thinner oil that I may have. But I would say the favorites right now, again, I personally can't live without Mango Tango. I personally can't live without Melon Breeze. Um, Autumn Spice, if you're a festive type of person, that's pumpkin souffle in there. There's sweet potato in there. Obviously, there's pumpkin in there. There's praline in there. There's nutmeg in there. So if you still like having that fall winter vibe, it could still be cold where you are. I would suggest that. Salted caramel musk is definitely a gourmand where you have 3 different kinds of African musk in there. So it's very robust. It's helping to cut through that caramel note. So you have caramel and then you have maple syrup with caramel. And it's salted from a little bit of sea salt on top to balance out the sweetness. And I have a coffee version of that too. And initially, there's a story behind that where I originally was thinking coffee, but I was going to call it salted caramel musk. And my wife said, hey, you're putting coffee in it. It doesn't say coffee in the title. What if somebody doesn't like coffee? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking like a caramel macchiato, a salted caramel frappuccino.
Yeah.
So then at that point, I said, okay, for those that don't like coffee, salted caramel musk. And for those that would like coffee, salted caramel musk in parentheses coffee. So thank God she pointed that out. Like, that's why I keep her around,
Yeah, the women in our life have a lot of good ideas for all us guys.
Now, okay, Ray he's talking about the Batanga Sunrise.
Yes.
Now with that one having the cola
Yeah.
in it, is it
Is he?
yeah, does it
Very little. You get some of it,
okay.
but it's more like generic cola versus Coca-Cola. But it's also
Okay.
important to know that it's more cola forward than tequila forward. Some people, may not drink alcohol. I happen to be drinking tequila tonight. So I might like a tequila forward beard oil, but the majority may not. And it doesn't have that alcohol feel. It's more of a cocktail vibe where it's very balanced. The best bartenders are the ones that make a drink where you can hardly taste the alcohol in it, but you feel it. So that's what Batanga Sunrise is. There's cola in there up front. There's a little tequila in there. And there's clove, there's tobacco, there's tonka bean. So a lot of people's, one of their favorite scents of 2023 was Batanga Sunrise. And I give the credit all to Steven, that metal guy. He came up with the idea of that scent profile as well as the carrier oil blend. I just executed on his vision. And I'm glad we was able to come up with that. I'm very proud about that. And, I think that's a sleeper. Like people think like, oh, it's going to smell like tequila. I don't want to. No, it's going to smell like a cola cocktail drink. and it's a very, very nice vibe. When I feel festive, I'm in a good mood, like it's Friday, I'm gonna put Patanga Sunrise in.
Cool. And Ray says here it's definitely a generic cola smell with a nice hint of cherry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, there's cherry in there as well. Yep. But like a cocktail cherry.
Yeah.
So it's not cherry forward like cherry cough syrup. It's nothing like that.
Right. Well, I stopped on this one because it did seem interesting. I know someone was talking about it earlier.
Okay.
With the white chocolate cookie with apple bourbon.
Right. That was God. I don't know how I came up with that concoction. I don't remember. Like a white chocolate cookie gives a bacon spice vibe. So like you was talking, Jason, with Oscar night. You're like, okay, I'm getting sort of like a baked spice feeling. That's what the white chocolate does. So a white chocolate cookie with apple bourbon. So the apple is very like a Macintosh apple, very subdued. And that bourbon is not so sharp, but you get it. So it's a very interesting combination that will always be remembered because I had a release night with the cousins. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, Colin.
Oh yeah.
And in Ohio, sending it out to them. You know, again, the postal service wasn't that too kind. Where they received their package maybe an hour before the stream. So they opened it live. You know, they would have liked to have some time with it to talk more about it, but they couldn't. But the first impressions was just amazing. It was one of their favorites. The carrier oil blend is one of a kind. It has aloe vera oil in there. And again, the smell works well. You're not getting a sharp whiskey slap in the face. Again, with alcohol, you know, it's very funny. There's some of us who love that, but I think the majority doesn't really want that much alcohol leaning forward. I don't want any DWIs or anything like that. So
Right.
I'm trying to keep it balanced. So
Right.
it's will always be like right in the middle. So that white chocolate cookie definitely shines through that bourbon. And it's a nice, interesting, different, unique scent profile.
Ray's asking a question for you. Is it normal for a Brooklyn Tea Party to separate and have some brown oil set at the bottom?
Right. Yes, it is. And that goes back to my point earlier. That's that green tea extract. So the difference, the thing with using different carrier oil blends is typically each oil has a different weight class. And the heaviest oil is going to drop down to the bottom of the bottle usually. That's why we suggest usually that you shake the oil prior to use. So within each drop, you're getting all of the oils at once. So yeah, that's a heavy weighted oil, that green tea extract. That's that thickness that's getting to the bottom of the bottle. So
yeah, Ray, just shake that up.
yeah,
It all mix up very well for you.
it won't hurt you, I promise.
Okay, I know someone was asking about Gold Snow.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of comments on the gold snow.
So the concept with this was my first year of business. I started in June, so I was approaching the winter. So I was trying to say, all right, what could I come up with to help get everyone in the spirit of cold weather. So I thought about snow, and I decided to call it Gold Snow because I decided to put gold flakes in it, real 24 karat gold flakes in it. And I know it has been done before, but again, this is my creation. My wife happens to be a makeup artist, so she knows about gold flakes, and usually the benefit in that is for the skin. Cosmetic photo shoots, things of that nature, where they put gold snow on their face before applying makeup, and it's supposed to give it somewhat of a extra shine or look. So that's where I got that idea. Mainly, honestly, that's for presentation, extra jazz. I'm not really 100% sure what that does for the beard. I'm not gonna sell gimmicks, but it looks nice, and it dissolves right away in your hand. So you're not gonna be walking around with 24 karat gold flakes. You don't have to walk around with protection because it's real gold in there. You'll be all right. So that's where the gold snow comes from, gold snowflakes. And it's a fantastic cherry candy vanilla oud scent. But the cherry candy doesn't sound cheap, but it doesn't smell cheap, but it's like a bright red Kool-Aid smell, but it works well with that vanilla. And then that oud smooths it out. The oud isn't animalic. It's very wearable and it's very smooth. So it's giving that earthiness to cut into that sweetness. And then again, that vanilla is sort of smoothing out those two. So it's not too harsh. But man, that's an awesome carrier blend too, because the jojoba oil in there, along with the emu is in there. So that's one of my first, and that's still one of my favorites. That still sells out, and I came out with that like 2 years ago. That's still a regular. You know, there's a lot of cherry lovers out there,
Yeah.
so I always have to keep that in stock.
Cool. Jordan R here. He was giving a shout out. I think he was trying to say. He's a huge collector, asking if you had any scent recommendations.
Again, it's like I'm the owner, so of course I'm gonna say everything, right? But that sounds cliche, but it's like literally, I think everyone has like 2 or 3 that's like in their head that they want, that's in the back of their mind. But you know, I would say the apple berry is a banger. And I'm glad you clicked on that. That carrier oil is crazy. I think Scott, you're getting that, or Mike is getting that.
You had mentioned it to me.
Right, and that is a base of patchouli, which makes it very green. And then there's a sour apple in there that's phenomenal. And then it's topped off with a drop of cranberry. And it's just a very uplifting experience from the time you open that bottle. There's also some ambroxan in there, which is something to give it more strength, more of like a cologne dry down, like really true to cologne. You haven't really heard me say that, but that's what that's designed to do. It's like a patchouli cologne base along with that sour apple, almost like a Jolly Rancher candy, along with that cranberry. One of my favorites, especially for this time of the year, that refined sesame oil is like jojoba oil and metafoam oil mixed together. That's why I would say refined sesame seed oil is like, along with kukui nut oil, that's fantastic. So I would suggest that. I would suggest pistachio almond. If you're into fruity scents, Pina Lime is fantastic. I have an emu blend with that. It's about 25% emu within Pina Lime. So if you like smelling like pina colada, that's fantastic. When it comes to the musk series, kiwi musk, I love that. I think that's an all-around yearly scent that you can use. Kiwi musk. Kiwi has a refreshing vibe to it, almost like a citrus, but it plays so well on that Egyptian musk that's in there, as well as Egyptian sandalwood. So Definitely. Then we got pistachio almond, which again, if you guys saw Ken's content review with Mel, I think Mel's in the chat. Hello, Mel. But it doesn't lean too fruity or gourmandy. It's right in the middle. So you're getting that pistachio pudding again. You're getting that cherry almond. You're getting that almond macaron. And then at the base, you have white musk. And then you have patchouli. So pistachio almond is like an everyday scent. You can't lose with that. And then again, you want to get more earthly. You have my leather jacket. You have Oscar Night. It's so many of them. Batanga Sunrise. Again, like really, that's a banger. I guarantee you, Batanga Sunrise is gonna be different from any other beard oil that you have in your collection. Hands down, it's one of the most unique scent profiles that I have. Brooklyn.
Okay, he's mentioning that he likes citrus scents as well.
Right.
Would that Italy musk be a good one?
It would be,
citrus scent.
and that's a nice segue. You can pre-order that now, so that would get shipped out sometimes at the end of next week. And that has, because again, you think of Italy. Italy is one of the best places to grow bergamot, tangerines, oranges, citruses because of that temperature that's there. So yes, that's a burst of citrus in that. You would like that. That has mint in there, as well as tuberose, which is a slightly powdery note, almost like iris, along with that white musk, as well as cedarwood. That's what's in Italy musk. Love it. That's actually my wife's favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you. Out of all of them, for some reason, I don't know how, she likes Italy musk. And usually that's for a mature nose. Everyone, doesn't necessarily jump to that, maybe because of that mint note. But that mint note provides a green smell. So you're gonna get the feeling of springtime and summer with that. If you want to go citrus again, you have a brunch on Sundays. That's orange, like a mandarin orange, champagne, and cinnamon. Me and my wife been going to brunch for over 10 years. That's sort of like for the most part, a New York thing. Now it's getting to other states. I'm sure there's other states that are big on it too. But, we love going to brunch. And we love going on Sunday. It's an easy thing to do, have a good time. That's why I came out with that. And again, you having that citrus from that orange. You also have Fetti of Myth. That's grapefruit, amber, and lavender. Fantastic. Along with the base of balsamic fir. So that's citrus too. So you can go either way when it comes to citrus, but definitely Italy musk. You got lemon in there. You got all different kinds of citruses you can think of. So you can pre-order that. You can't lose with that. I actually have that in beard tonight. I've been wearing it every day this week. So it's just phenomenal. The beard butter in that, aloe vera butter, avocado butter, phenomenal. Every day I put it on.
I can't remember if we said this before, but for those that want to order tonight and they use the code RESPECT, how do they get the free oil? Do they just put it in comments or?
Right. So yeah, RESPECT, 20% off the entire site. Doesn't matter which product. Then you will receive a 1 ounce free oil, but you have to let me know in the comment section while you're checking out which oil you want.
Okay.
And that's how I'll know. And pretty much you got to do that.
Cool. Ray was asking, you bring a cologne guy like myself, does your pistachio oil pair well with Kayali pistachio scent?
Wow. Good question. I love Kayali. Yes, it does. And the Kayali will outshine. No, I would say it will complement Fetti says pistachio almond, as well as pistachio almond will complement that. Kayali is very good too for layering. So it's going to work in tangents with each other. So that's one of the inspirations on how I came up with it. It doesn't exactly smell like that, but again, it gave me some ideas where it's a yummy, creamy, vanillic undertone that's in the scent profile. But again, it's so much more. It's straight down the middle, unisex, and I think that would be a great choice. I love it. If I didn't just come up with Italy Musk, I'd probably be wearing pistachio almond right now. Seriously. And the carrier oil blend too is great, and the butter with that macadamia nut butter, it's pretty good. It's like the shea minus the odor, so good texture.
So I guess he wasn't in here earlier, but he's asking what your bestseller is.
Right now, year to date, it's plum fig. One of my most popular is peach musk. It's gold snow. Pistachio almond is catching up there, and then appleberry. I would say it's like top 4, top 5.
Cool. I also wanted to touch. You also have some beard washes that pretty much go along with your other scents.
Correct. So how that works too is feel free. Mainly you would get, because I'm out of labels for the other scents, but I can give you an unscented label beard wash, and then just tell me what scent you would like in it. Even if it's Italy musk, even if it's pistachio almond, you can get it flavored whatever flavor you would like. And the beard wash, again, I'm very proud of it. That's why I only really have one type of beard wash, which is a gentle everyday beard wash. I wash my beard every other day. So I believe in that. So it's not too heavy. It's not stripping that much. Um, it's rich in vitamin E and bran oil in there. It took me about 2 years to find a beard wash that I was comfortable with using. It's pre-made but organic as much as possible. And I try not to compromise the integrity in the blend by putting too much scents or oils in it. So it's a very nourishing beard oil beard wash, along with my beard conditioner, which is fantastic also, very foamy, brings your beard back to life, so to speak. Very proud of those. And once I found the right one, that's when I started selling them. So you could trust that a true beardsman tested out the products. So when you use it, it should serve its purpose as well.
Question on the conditioner. How often do you use it?
I use it every other day. The more my
Every
beard
other
grows,
day? Okay.
I'm sorry, you saying something?
I said, no, I just said every other day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because the more my beard grows, it gets curly and tangled up. So I have to apply it underneath so I can comb them out fully. So definitely that. I also have a leave-in conditioner, which is, really when things are out of whack and you can leave it in overnight and just rinse it out in the morning, and it's just easier to comb through and style.
Yeah.
Not now, Mike. You're not going to ask the big question.
Uh-oh.
That's the big question.
Oh, where's the balm?
Yeah.
I'm a big balm fan. I use balm every day. So
Okay, yeah, I'm just now learning that. It's weird. When I first started growing a beard, I was using balm, and in my mind, this is my opinion. Obviously, I'm wrong, but it was really I thought for shorter beards to style. But you use it too, which is great. So It gives it that hold. I do use a little bit of wax. I'm trying to think which one offhand, but I think it's a vegetal wax that does add some hold capabilities into it. But I had liked the idea of butter. One of the first butters I tried on my beard journey was Detroit Grooming beard butter. And from that, I thought that fit my personality the most. So that's why I decided to come with it. Not too many people have come to me and say, hey, why don't you have a balm? Because I do pay attention to things like that. So I kind of left it. And I thought because I do add a little bit of wax, it gives it a nice texture. It definitely keeps flyaways down for me. So I kind of stuck with that formula. But if you want one, I'll make one for you.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, I do custom blends as well. I don't promote that a lot. When I come out with all these different scents and carrier blends, I tend to forget that. But my long-term customers easily could request a custom scent as well as a custom blend within reason that I can do for them. And typically I'll accept like outside payments of like Zelle or PayPal where that's more custom. Typically, you know, that's how that would work. But yeah, that's something else too. You can just add in the customer section where if you purchase the butter, you can say, hey, could you add a little bit more wax into it so it can have more of a balm feeling? I have customers that order the butter, and they put it in their hair. So they want to be more thicker. So I'll easily do that for them. And that's how they get what they want.
Yeah. So, I mean, back when I started using beard products, which was probably around 2013, 2014, it was oil and balm. Like that was basically what was available prior to butters coming out or me knowing about butters. So I've always stuck with the balm, and then it was just a couple years ago I started using butter as well. So my morning routine is oil and then butter and then balm. So I use all three, and then I use butter at night when I go to bed. But balm, I mean, not only does it like help with styling, keep the flyaways down, but I think it has like a protective factor to it too, as well. Especially like if you're outside, just kind of protecting from the elements.
Yeah, everybody's beard is different. I feel like the butter has that same capability. On mine, I don't know about general, so definitely what you're saying is not wrong. I'm just finding this out today, so that's awesome. But another suggestion too, also Jason, I don't know how much you guys are bald in here, but I also have shaved head polish. Now that is very close to well, easily, might just shave your head off and you're bald just like, oh, let's do that. But that has a lot of wax in there. Typically, shaved head polish is primarily wax. There's hardly oil in it at all, really. So that's always a good option too. Just saying, to put it out there. But yeah, definitely I can work on some 2-ounce balms for the future. There's always so much stuff to do. So yeah, like it's something. Do this. Oh, I gotta get combs. It's like never ending, So.
We got a couple questions here. One from Mike. Do you recommend choosing based on scent or carrier blend?
Good question. Me personally, I can only speak for myself. My beard accepts most oils. So for me, a carrier oil blend is not that big of a deal as far as what's important to me, even though it is. But I know pretty much I'm not going to get a pushback on a certain type of oil for the most part. I would say, in my opinion, scent is number one, and then feeling beard is number two. That's for me. Meaning, I don't mind using the scent the most. Carrier oil blend, there's certain carrier oil blends that stand out more than others to me. and also based on the feedback that I get from customers. So again, if it's all about carrier oil blend, that's something that, you know, you can only answer for yourself. If more carrier oil blend is important versus scent, then, you know, you could do Fetti or Myth, which is, you know, a grapefruit scent, easy on the nose, mass appealing. It does have emu in there, so the carrier blend is good on that too. And then again, you're talking about plum fig, you're talking about Oscar night. How many times do you get shea nut and ostrich in the same beard oil? You know, very seldom you see one or the other. So I mean, if you're going for that, you could do that too. So I would say scent. But if you have 1,000 different beard oils too, you get to pick and choose and juggle also. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to say it. But again, I'll reiterate, my favorite is Mango Tango. Carrier blend is fantastic, tested and approved. Batanga Sunrise is fantastic. Um, Melon Breeze is an all year round scent, a salty watermelon scent, but it has amber in there, as well as beechwood, vetiver, and white musk. Watermelon seed oil is like the cousin of metafoam seed oil, fantastic. Um, Black Rose is a classic. Again, hemp seed, rose hip, fantastic. Um, you know, you have some metafoam seed oil in there, as well as the jojoba oil in there. So I mean, it's so many, but my main ones again is you have Oscar Night, which has that ostrich and the shea nut. You have, I like Autumn Spice that has ostrich oil in there with pumpkin seed oil in there. That's great. It's so many where you're getting a medium plus viscosity. And the scents, you gotta go by the scents that you think you would like. That I can't answer for you. Everybody like different kind of scents.
Yeah.
Then Ray asked, custom blends, as in half and half cents in one bottle.
Yeah,
I could probably answer that.
yeah,
I mean, you could do that if you want, but
yeah. As long as it's within reason, you know. If I don't have to go out the country to get the scent, I'll make for you whatever you want.
And then here's another good question, which I thought of earlier and didn't get to ask. Like, are your scents related to each carrier blend?
Mm.
You know, is that why the carrier is what it is because of the scent you're deciding to go with, or is it just something you decided to? You want to try this carrier blend, so you're going to make this scent out of it?
Great question, man. I love the questions. I never get that many on a live stream, so I love it. I'm glad, and you guys are catching it too, which is important. So, carrier blend is random. I try to pick for each scent. If I can find, so if I come out with a coffee scent tomorrow, if I can find coffee oil, which there exists coffee oil, if you can cold press something, you can tend to make oil out of it. Essential too. So I will look for that automatically. Like if we look at pistachio almond, I couldn't find pistachio oil, but I was able to find, of course, shea nut oil, like we mentioned, macadamia nut oil, and walnut oil, which may be something you never used before. So I'll try to stick to that theme. But if I can't, which isn't always guaranteed, I will pick something that I haven't used before, see what it is. I think a deal breaker for me when it comes to carrier blends is if a particular oil has an odor to it out of bottle, because then that can affect the scent profile. So then I won't go that route. But when it comes to feeling beard, I test it out and see if it works before I put it out. So that's separate. The scent profile is probably what comes first, which is non-relative to the carrier blend usually. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jordan says so far he likes Italy Musk and my leather jacket.
And you can't lose with them. I think those are both sides of the equator where you're getting the best of both worlds. Italy musk is for this time of year, as well as all year round. It's citrus, it's minty, it's powdery, it's musky, and it's woody. So, you know, you already know what those vibes are like. And then again, when it comes to my leather jacket, you know, you're getting the leather masculine scent, but it's a true, authentic leather scent. So it's not gritty, it's not too in your face, but then you're getting notes of peony, which is a floral note, which blends in nice with the leather. It blends in nice with the suede, and that pomegranate, like a little bit of brightness. It's like a hint of raspberry, so to speak, of what the pomegranate does, um, along with white musk in there. So my leather jacket is an awesome, easy reach, wearable scent when you're not sure what you want to wear. So that's why I'm saying that balance comes in where you get the character from the other scent choice, and then you have my leather jacket where it's sort of middle of the road, giving you that rugged feel.
I don't think I've heard one of these since that I wasn't interested in.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do, come out with something again that could top the most. Italy musk, I wanted to top peach musk. I wanted to top kiwi. That's the goal. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's the efforts and the reasoning behind it. So I try to outdo myself. I knew I had to have a tobacco scent. I knew I had to have a leather scent at some point. I knew a tea scent. It's certain things on a bucket list because people tend to uh, refer to me or think of me as a fruit cologne guy. And I do recognize that as a talent and a specialty. But again, I want to keep pushing the envelope. I want to keep challenging myself to do the best that I can to provide as much variety where you can get a little bit of everything within one beard care company versus going to multiple different beard care companies trying to find something that may or may not wow you.
Take care, Shepard.
And Ray says, Fetti is a dangerous man. He'll make that wallet hurt. The scents are really good.
Thank you, I think.
Well, you're obviously doing your job if that's how people feel about your products.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Ray has bought a few, and he likes to pair the beard oils with the colognes. So I mean, he can tell you that one doesn't overshadow the other; it complements it. It works together, and just gives like a nice vibe. I'm a cologne guy myself, so I like wearing the colognes. If anything's outshining the other, then that's not exactly a good experience for me. So I try to keep it in the middle. And yeah, I just try to keep coming with the bangers, man, consistently.
Well, it sure sounds like you're doing it.
Thank you.
Fetti, do you have any stockists? Like, is there any stores that carry your products?
Good question. No, not as of yet. I've been working on that. I had just moved here,
Mm-hmm.
so I was looking to plant my feet here in Baltimore and do some networking where there's some potential stores that's opening up where I can put my products in there. I do have it in my local barbershop in Brooklyn, which I still go to. It's out on Fulton
Oh,
Avenue.
wow.
When I was in New York too, I was doing something called local pickups, and how I got popular on Instagram is I would record the pickups and the first impressions of the oils, so people could see that it's real, and it could sort of give the total picture of what it would be like if you bought my products.
Mm-hmm.
No, not in stores yet. Online has been doing well so far, but yeah, ultimately, if I can get in Walmart, I've spoken to a couple people. It's very expensive, so I'm not quite there yet. But that's been a hold up. Ideally, if I did that, I'd be out of here. Really.
Do you offer an unscented butter?
I do. That's more custom, but again, with that customer comment section, that's why I created it. If there's a carrier oil blend that you like in a product, say for example, Batanga Sunrise. I really like this carrier oil blend. I think it would be amazing, but my nose is sensitive to scents. You can put in the comment section, can you please make this butter unscented? And hey, less work for me. No problem.
And Ray says, Fetti does great products. Highly recommend if you haven't tried. Plus, running a great deal with a free 1 ounce oil.
Code respect. Code respect.
And
That's right.
That is good until 5 p.m. tomorrow.
That's right. So gives you guys a chance to take advantage. I also have afterpay and stuff like that. So I try to make it flexible for the consumer as much as possible. I also, if you follow me on Instagram, if not, please do. Fetti says. I'm also on TikTok. I typically do weekly deals. So I'm always trying to offer value, offer something regularly. So you can take advantage. You don't always have to pay full price. The 1 ounce free oil of choice is very popular. Typically I'll do that, especially on live stream. Customers really like it. And I think that gives you an opportunity to try my stuff, especially once I was doing 2 ounce oils. Oh man, 2 ounces, I'm not going to use this. Let me give this away. And then the free 1 ounce, I'll use that. So I'm getting exposure, and you also get an opportunity to try the product, see if you like it. So I think for me that's a good deal for the consumer, as well as for me, where they get to try the product.
It sounds like Ray was shocked you were no longer in Brooklyn, but he says he can't say he blames you.
Yeah, Ray, life goes on, buddy. But like houses in New York and Brooklyn, like there's more opportunity and growth. Once people find out about a certain place, whether it's affordable or you get more for price, they tend eventually, let's say within 10 years, come in and dominate and buy the properties, drive the price up. And for the average consumer, average person, it doesn't really work for them as far as in the long term. So definitely I had to move, but I got more. I got like 3 decks. I got a rooftop. I got a basement. It's insane. So it's a lot more room. Typically in New York, you're paying $3,000 a month living in a closet.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get a dog or raise children. So that's what's happening now. It's really, like for the rich. So
do you have like a Victorian style house, like 3 floors?
Yes. Well,
yeah.
It's sort of 2 floors, and then like behind me, there's a spiral staircase. Will take you to the rooftop where you can see the Baltimore Ravens stadium.
Gotcha.
From there, but you can't get that stuff in New York. Even if you go upstate, it's still catching up with people learning, and it's like 700,000-800,000.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tough.
And we just found out that you're using a iPhone or iPad.
Yeah.
Do this.
Got thumbs.
That's right.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Let's see the fireworks. There you go.
There you go.
Jason, let's see you do it.
Finally.
Oh, it doesn't work for Jason.
Boom.
No.
He doesn't have an iPhone.
Oh, Jason, what's going on?
All right, Jordan just placed an order. Went with Italy must.
Jordan, thanks guys for all your support. Thanks for tuning in. You know,
Yes.
you guys are great too. You know, I consider you guys my bearded brothers. So,
That's right, man.
you know, thank you for welcoming me. And, you know, I've met solid people in the bearded community from the time I started. I also wanted to mention too that I think it's a big difference with a lot of beard care companies. I knew when I started, I had to get stamped approval by the bearded community. These are guys that have beards. They have over 100 beard oils. If your stuff is trash, it's not gonna work. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna know. So I had reached out to Dancy Bearded when I first got started, and it was the very beginning where I didn't even have a carrier oil blend listed on my labels or anything. And I was getting a lot of feedback from the people that were watching the video where they were saying, hey, you need this. You got to be transparent. You know, you got to put this on the website. You know, what's the scent profile? Oh, okay, I'll let it be a surprise. You'll like it. And it's like, no, people want to see that, which is the basics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you walk into a Walmart or what have you, and you'll see certain things, and you know it'll throw you off, and it doesn't really educate you on what's in it, and you have a bad experience, and you think all beard oils are gonna be like this. So you guys gave me everything I needed to be successful, to be consistent, to be able to provide the value where you can see what you're getting, trust it, and then I really depend on the feedback of customers, just so I can know what's going on, what you guys like, what makes sense. So again, I can increase my chances of a good experience with someone else that's not used to using beard products. They're just trying to improve their beard, and you know they have no idea if it's worth doing. So from you guys, that helped me. Well, I can give them the best advice, be confident in what I know what I'm talking about, and consistently deliver that. So I'm very appreciative, and it's helped me a lot within my business. I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, as long as you can learn something new every day, you'll be successful. You know,
right.
like it's part of growing a successful business is listening to feedback, knowing what's the latest trend, and caring about your products. You know,
That's right.
absolutely.
But if we like something, then we're going to pass that on to other people in our
Right.
streams or
Right. Which
other
I've heard a lot of
Mhm.
praise for Fetti says. So
yeah.
Thank you.
heard a lot of praise in
Yeah,
the community.
Yeah.
I didn't hear one bad word from anybody.
No.
Wow, that's good. And then you guys were telling me too that a lot of people have requested to see me on one of your episodes. That speaks volumes, whoever that was or how many people that was, to get you guys to reach out. You know, we never would have interacted pretty much. So
Right.
I'm so grateful that actually, excuse me, keeps me going and inspires me. You know, people reaching out to me like, "Hey, man, this is amazing. My wife says she loves it, and I this smell takes me back in time." Like those are the things that say, "All right, I gotta try to top myself on the next scent profile and carrier blend that I do. What can I do differently this time? How am I shock people?" It keeps me inspired. So without that, it's pretty hard to go on and on and on with all these scents. So it's awesome. Good feeling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, True North says feedback from its customers is so valuable.
Shout out to True North. Great people. You know, they always support me, and I hear good things about their company too. So I'm always glad to see them on the live streams, and they're doing well too. Congrats to them. Good company.
Yeah, we've just had a a great experience with them, and they did a collab with us.
Nice.
Turned out great. It's a pretty simple scent, but each three of us picked the scent, and you can tell just in the profile that all three are there. Nothing's overpowering or anything. So it was just a great experience.
That's awesome. Congrats to you guys, and congrats to True North.
Yeah.
You know, me personally, I was a little skeptical on doing collab scents. Like so many people do them, and it's like, okay, you know, and then people will support whoever, you know, comes out with the collab scent, the influencer. And then it's like, okay, they're doing it because they know them, or they really like them, or they're good friends with them. So it's really support. But what value does it have for the business owner? It was hard for me to see that. I didn't get it, or I thought it would be a fad, and only for a few people know the influencer. Then really, and you having it as like a big product, but it was in hindsight, one of the best things I ever did as far as collaboration. Collaboration is so important for sustaining your business, growing, longevity. It's easier to grow and get richer as a company. You see the biggest of companies now collaborating.
Right.
There's really nowhere else to go. And through that, I learned a lot, and I created something special. And I'm just proud of it. You know, it's an awesome thing to do. And now, at least once a year, I'm gonna try to do collaboration scents with some of the best relationships that I have. Anywhere I see, you know, the personalities, the themes, they make sense. It's only right to do. So, awesome thing.
Yeah, it's great when those things work out. But we want to thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And the code for everyone to use through, guys, make sure you hop on this by Friday. It's a hell of a deal to save 20% and get a free oil.
That's right. And follow me on Instagram, Fetti Says. I definitely will continue to promote it tomorrow throughout 5 p.m. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a DM at Fetti Says or an email at fettisays@gmail.com. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart having me. It was great meeting you guys. I think you guys have an awesome show. And again, you're spreading that love. It's drawing the community together. This is an awesome community. So I developed a lot of good friendships with good people that I've never physically met since the pandemic. So it means a lot to me. You know, these communities really play a part in your life. My wife knows these people. They know my wife. I know, like Ken's wife. I know her. Like she's part of the family. So it's fantastic, great people, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Ken, he lives like 15 minutes away from you now.
Insane. That's crazy.
I appreciate all the comments in the chat.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys again so much for the support. And thanks so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys soon. Let me know anything you need from me. I look forward to seeing that live stream tomorrow. Let me know anything you need. And have a great night and great meeting you guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
You too.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Make sure to catch us next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Respect the journey.
Yes, sir. Peace.